fierce resilience collide. On this heartfelt episode of Sacred Harmony, we are joined by the extraordinary Gina Economopoulos, end of life speaker and spiritual warrior. From bartending to a 12-year convent journey, from battling addiction to guiding souls through their final breath. Gina's story is a living testimony to the power of surrender and strength. This one's about healing, faith, and holding space for ourselves and for others when life brings us to our knees. So, Gina, your life story is anything but ordinary. What moment stands out as the turning point that led you from heartbreak to healing?
Oh, wow. There was many turning points in my life. I mean, it was a journey that in hindsight, I see how God has brought me on, different paths of life. I was a searcher looking for that peace and that serenity and that safe place within myself. And yet, it took me good maybe 30 years, 35 years to finally find it where I am today. And one of the first turning points is the loss of my mom. Uh, 33 years ago, she had cancer and she died, and that's where the my life turned for a way where I was just searching for the meaning of life, for the purpose of life. And and then from there, I did find the purpose at that moment, and I came back to my Catholic roots, and I joined the convent. So that was my first turning point of my journey of where I am today.
That's beautiful. So, looking back, how did your mother's passing shape your path into the convent and ultimately into this deep work?
Wow. When my mom was diagnosed with cancer, I did not have any faith, no hope, no love, and there was not a God or a spirituality in my life. When she passed away, everybody told me she's with God. And so I wanted to know who this God person, this spiritual person is, where my mom is. I wanted to know what heaven is. And I experienced a spiritual peace as I was looking for it. I came back to my Catholic roots. And then I thought that at the time, this is the next best thing is joining the convent, finding that peace, that serenity. I mean, prior to this, I was a bartender. So I went from like a dark place to an enlightenment place. And so my mom's death shaped me in the beginning of my spiritual journey, one would say. And I thought being a nun, that was it. I was in the convent for 12 years. I made final vows, but in the long run, it wasn't it. So God took me on a different path, continued on my path of enlightenment. Um, when I left the convent, I was back in a real dark place. My heart was broken from my experience as a sister. And so once again, I was looking for a meaning of life. Why did this happen to me? I was a Catholic nun. I'm in this religious community. How could they hurt me? And how can this be? So like I said, I left with a broken heart, and now I'm in my 40s, still looking and searching for the meaning of life.
It's moving how pain can become a calling, something sacred, even when we didn't ask for it.
Yeah. So true. It's so true. I mean, being in this as a sister, I felt it was my vocation calling, giving my whole life to God, to the church, into this community. And because I have a heart of service. So part of our duties as a sister, we would work with the poor and help them out, and I love that, but yet it still wasn't that sacred place for me to be who I was. And I think that's what I was striving for in my whole life is to find out who Gina is. And being in the convent, I thought I found who Gina was, a sister, someone who loves God, wanted to give her whole life to God. But yet, with the hands of the community and what I experienced, it was very, my personality was crushed, and I really didn't know who Gina was when I left. And also I questioned God. I questioned God, like, how can this happen to me? So as I continued, but then yet he placed me after in the convent. I went to go live with men and women with disabilities, and that was like a healing place. It was, a best place to go from a convent into the world, because being in the convent, I was taken out of the world, so to speak, and so I did not really know how to live life in the world as Gina. So I was continue searching for Gina.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely amazing. So, as an end of life doula, what have you learned about strength? Not the kind we force, but the kind that holds us in the end.
Wow, I learned as a end of a life doula, it is being present to those who are dying, um, and just being there. What strengthens me is knowing that they have a place to go with in my faith. I know there's a better place in this world, and a safer place. And so I just know when I'm with those who are dying, it just strengthens me to know that there is a God, because I experience peace, and it's a joy and a love in in my heart. It's a passion, to be with them, because I believe every person, no matter who you are, ha has the dignity and the love to die. That they need, with that dignity and respect. And so that's what I it was placed in my heart from the time I was with my mom, with her dying. But back then it was like, no way. I would only take care of my mom. And fast forward now, having a faith in God and knowing that there is a better place, God put that passion in my heart to help others to find their better place, to go to you know, transition from this life to the next.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, has there been a moment with someone passing that deeply transformed your own perspective on life?
Uh, yes, there were many, and my one is when I was a sister. When I was a nun, I was with my uncle, who had a heart attack. And a matter of fact, it was around this time, and I went out there to be with him in New York, and just to pray with him. And in a way, I was preparing him to meet his maker, to meet his God. And he was very open about it. And the last night I saw him, I said, "Hey, Uncle Jim, tomorrow is my birthday. And if you want to die on my birthday, that would be great, because it was the same hospital that I was born in." And I said, "Well, it was the day that God gave me life, and it's a day that God will give you eternal life." And sure enough, he died on my birthday the next day. And that just strengthens my faith, how God answers, and how, to this day, of course, I don't forget anyone, but Uncle Jim, when it comes to my birthday, we both share the same day of receiving life. So,
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. And that's the kind of wisdom that doesn't come from books, but from standing at the threshold with another soul.
so true. Exactly. I mean, my whole experience in life is through my own personal experience. It's through not giving up. It's first, one day at a time, one foot in front of the other, going through every darkness and pain that I had to go through to be who I am today, and to be able to be present to the dying. And as we all know, people are, I mean, it's natural. People are afraid of death. They don't want to die. There's fear. And I'm not here to take away their fear because I can't take away anybody's feelings because I don't really know exactly what they're going through. But what I can do is be present to them, to pray with them, to hold their hands, to say any words or not to say any words. Each person varies. I mean, I go with my spirit. I go with with God and asking God, how do you, what do you want from me in this situation? And He puts me in places and situations that I never thought I would be, but then yet I was a helping hand to someone, just to bring peace, and even to the family. I'm a great griever. Grief is my best friend. So I understand what grief is all about, and I understand when somebody's dying is all about. Now, the difference I have today back then is that I have faith, I have hope, I have love, and I have a God in my life that brings tremendous peace and harmony within me to help someone else or to be present to someone else. Whether they feel it or not, it doesn't matter. I feel it.
So, your journey through sobriety is so courageous. What was the hardest part of claiming that new identity?
Oh boy, that's a story in itself. But yes, I didn't realize that I was an alcoholic until 10 years ago. I just celebrated 10 years of sobriety. And the way I came into the rooms of AA, realizing that I had a problem with drinking, it was that just previously, 2 years before that, I lost my fiance to the disease of alcoholism. He was the alcoholic. So when he died from this disease, once again, I'm in such a dark place because I kind of gave up on life. I didn't think I was an alcoholic at the time. I didn't have a program. At this point, I was angry with God, but yet God did for me what I could not do for myself. That He brought me into the rooms of AA, and then in that, I just came to realize, wow, I'm an alcoholic. That I have a problem. Yeah, not only with drinking, but living life on life's terms. Whether it's in misery, I had all the isms, which is all about me. And so coming into the rooms, what I've learned, not only that I'm an alcoholic, but one day at a time without picking up a drink, I'm able to live life in a healthy way, in a safe way, in the light, and that's just through going to meetings and listening to other alcoholics and reading and especially turning to God, my higher power, who keeps me sober, who keeps me sane, and who helps me in this journey and continues to help me to be healed, my faith journey, to it all. So it has shaped me tremendously because today I could say I know who Gina is. If you remember, I was looking for Gina my whole life inside, and I finally found who Gina is. And granted, she's an alcoholic, but Gina is much more than that. She's a child of God. She's filled with light and peace, and she's free on the inside. So it's a great experience and a great feeling and a great way to live today.
That's amazing. So, what role has spirituality played in sustaining that sobriety through years?
Oh yeah, the spiritual, it's because uh coming into the rooms of AA, I realize it's a spiritual program. So I experienced a new way of living, a new life, uh, a new God in my life. But granted, he has been the same God, but yet as a sister, as I compare it to his being as a sister, I knew God loved me, and yes, and I shared others that God loved them. But what AA has done for me has given me a new way of living. And in this way of living is seeing, wow, God does love me. God is with me. It's because back in the convent days, it was more of a religiosity, what I experienced. Today, fast forward, I know God much better today because I'm inside my heart, inside that safe place within me that is just God alone.
Mhm. Your honesty is a lighthouse for others who feel lost in their storm.
Yeah. That's it. You have to be honest with yourself. Honest, open, and willing is the key for what I live day by day to receive God's grace or to receive a higher power's grace, to receive something that's not Gina. My whole life, it was Gina. I was ruled by Gina. Now I came to realize that there is a God that's more powerful than me, that He is the one that's leading me. And if I continue to remain teachable, to be open to hearing all this and to be honest, saying, hey, I like this, I don't like this, to my higher power, to God, more peace comes in my way. And then I can able to live this life on life's terms without being miserable, without being a victim, and without picking up a drink. I mean, that's what I used to do with my feelings when I felt pain, emotional, spiritual pain. I would, go to the drink to take it away because I don't want to feel this way, or I would go on my pity couch and be poor me. But yet now, fast forward today, I don't have that pity couch. I mean, it's there, but it's not gonna. I'm not gonna go sit in it and stay in. Sit on it for a long time because that's what I used to do. And the bottom behind it all, I do believe in my life, it's fear. It's fear based, and fear is can be healthy, but yet throughout my life, fear paralyzed me. And today, I one day at a time, as I stay sober, grow closer to my higher power, in my spiritual growth, uh, faith overcomes fear. More faith, less fear, more God, less Gina. That I pray on a daily basis.
Mhm. That's amazing. So, you carry both Italian and Greek roots. How has your heritage influenced your sense of community, resilience, or
Oh,
spiritual strength?
well, coming from an Italian and Greek family, and a large family, what I experienced was great love from my parents. At the time, my parents were my God, and I felt such love. And with the Greek and the Italian roots, having both sides being Catholic as well as my dad was Greek Orthodox, came into the Catholic Church, but yet they had a real strong spirituality. They were very devout Catholics, and they they did teach us, but as a child, some of it I didn't want to go. Yes, I went to mass. Yes, I received my sacraments, but I believe I know with their love for each other, my parents' love and for their devotion, for their spirituality, it carried me without me realizing it. And I thank God for them. And I thank God for what they showed me now in hindsight. Back then as a child, didn't want to I didn't see it, or I didn't want it. It wasn't cool. But yet, today I'm just so grateful that their love for God and the way they brought us up um has really impacted me and inspired me. Because when I was 8, by the time I turned 14, 15 years old, I wanted to get married and have 8 kids like my parents, but that wasn't in the cards for me. But yet I do thank God for their spirituality because in hindsight, it did form me and it kept me going.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. So, are there traditions or memories that return to when you need grounding?
Yeah, I have a great I yes, there are many memories and traditions growing up, being in a large family and being Italian, we're big hearts full of love, and, as well as being Greek too. I know that, my family was very loving, where everybody used to come to our house, because they felt very safe in our house, and those memories just grounds me. It helps me. I have to say, today I do have a heart of hospitality, a heart of compassion, which my parents did. They were always open to people, whoever they were, friends of friends. They were always welcome at dinner, and that's where I know have gotten that those genes, one would say, and that tradition, because my heart is open to people, and being hospitable and everything like that. So yes, so and then of course, I had those bad memories of myself personally, because I was born with a lot of health problems, but yet, if I didn't go through any of those problems or anything in my life, I wouldn't be who I am today. So I'm very much at peace, accepting, yeah, that it was, at the time I didn't think so, but today it was what it was, and that was my story, and that's how I was born, etc. And but then yet I'm the person who I am today, which I'm the best person that I am today, and I continue to be best, every day, one day at a time.
There's something ancestral in that. How family, even
Right.
in memory, becomes medicine.
Yeah, the family is. If well, I mean, being united, family was my stronghold throughout my life.
That's amazing. So, if you could leave listeners with one message of hope or healing today, what would it be?
Oh, what I would share to your listeners, if anyone is struggling with any kind of darkness or pain or insecurity, I just encourage not to give up. Do not give up. You're not alone. Do not be discouraged. Somebody out there, including myself, has been through it all, and just know that you're loved. You're loved by something greater than yourself, and I would always say, if nobody says that they love you today, I do. So
Sometimes the softest words are the ones that save us. And yours, they truly spark light.
well, thank you.
Mm.
Thank you so
So
much, because
from
this is
grief
a
to
very
grace.
safe place.
So from grief to grace, from the convent to the shore, Gina Economopoulos shows us that healing is possible even when life breaks wide open. If her story moved you, pass it on. Tell someone they are not alone. And remember, strength isn't just surviving, it's showing up with love when life hurts most. So until next time, stay soft, stay strong, and let your healing be your harmony.